5 clicks, 5 nightmares, dark web traps you won't escape. Each story begins with a single click, an innocent purchase, a suspicious email, a tempting job offer, a chilling revenge site, or a live stream that feels too real. But on the dark web, every click carries a price. These aren't just stories, they're warnings. Because sometimes it's not the shadows you can see that you should fear. It's the ones pretending to be real. Are you ready to dive into the dark corners of the internet where one mistake could cost you everything? Story number 1, the marketplace that wasn't there. I knew the moment I clicked confirm purchase that something was wrong. The timer on the screen froze, the chat window disappeared, and suddenly every trace of the marketplace was gone, like it had never existed. It started, like most mistakes do, with curiosity. I wasn't some seasoned dark web explorer, just someone who'd spent too many nights scrolling through forums, clicking links I shouldn't have, and convincing myself I was just looking. But that night, I stumbled onto something different, a site called Black Vault Market. It looked professional, not the clunky, poorly coded messes you'd expect from typical dark web marketplaces. The layout was sleek, the categories well organized, and the sellers even had profile pictures. Stock images, sure, but it gave a full sense of legitimacy. What drew me in wasn't the usual shady stuff, it was the tech section. Brand new graphics cards, CPUs, and other components that had been sold out for months on every legitimate platform. The prices weren't just good, they were impossible. An RTX 4090 for less than half its retail price? I hovered over the Buy Now button for longer than I'd like to admit. The seller had glowing reviews, all recent. Comments like, "Fast delivery, no issues," and "Would buy again, 10/10 service." I told myself it was worth the risk. I had cryptocurrency to spare, and if it was a scam, well, lesson learned. Wait. I clicked Buy Now. The seller's chat window popped up almost immediately. "Thank you for your purchase. Confirm payment to finalize your order." I copied the wallet address, sent the Bitcoin, and pasted the transaction hash into the chat. The seller replied instantly. "Payment confirmed. Your order will be shipped in 48 hours. Tracking details will follow soon." And just like that, the chat closed. I refreshed the page. The marketplace's logo flickered, then disappeared. The categories? Gone. My order history? Empty. "Luxury housekeeping," said Belle. "You don't need them anymore. You have housemates, you have a kitchen, you even have a garden." I clicked back to the home page, but I was greeted with a 404 error. I checked the URL, it was correct. I copied it into another browser, then another device. Nothing. It was like the entire marketplace had been swallowed by the void. My stomach tightened as I realized the obvious. I'd been scammed. My Bitcoin was gone, and there'd be no RTX 4090 arriving at my doorstep. Footnote. Frustrated, I closed my laptop and told myself to move on. But as I lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. The first email came at 3:17 a.m. "Did you enjoy your purchase?" My full name. I froze. My name. My real name. I clicked on the email, heart hammering in my chest. Attached were screenshots of me, sitting at my desk, browsing the marketplace. One photo caught my eye. It was taken from my webcam. I slammed my laptop shut, but I knew it was pointless. Whoever they were, they'd already seen everything. The next email arrived minutes later. "You've been marked." That's when the paranoia set in. I taped over my webcam, unplugged my router, and checked every inch of my apartment. Every shadow felt like it was watching me. Sleep was out of the question. By dawn, I was back at my desk, combing through my browser history, trying to trace where the site had come from. The original link led me to an encrypted .onium address, that was now completely dead. But there was something else. A backup file in my browser cache, a fragment of code, a piece of the site's backend. I dug through it, line by line, until I found something that made my blood run cold. Log user data, active. Webcam access, granted. Export personal information completed. This wasn't just a fake store, it was a trap. They hadn't been trying to sell products, they'd been harvesting information. Webcam footage, IP addresses, passwords, wallet IDs, everything. I was exposed. I frantically wiped my hard drive, reset my router, and tried to convince myself I could undo whatever damage had been done. But deep down, I knew it was too late. Fuck. What? 3 days later, I received another email. Check this out. It was a link to another dark web forum. I hesitated, but curiosity got the better of me. The forum page loaded, and there it was, my profile. My full name, my address, photos from my webcam, even my email and phone number. Listed for sale. How much? The price? $50 in Bitcoin. The comments below were from potential buyers. They were discussing me like I was a product. One comment read, "Looks like a clean target. Let's make contact." I slammed my laptop shut. I spent weeks trying to disappear, changing emails, getting a new phone, even moving apartments. But no matter how many steps I took, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was still watching.
It drives a wedge between work and personal life.
Although the former was consuming more of my time than the latter, it was plain from the start that the latter was far more dangerous.
I'm still waiting for
every flicker of a camera lens, every unknown number calling my phone, every creak in my hallway felt like it was tied back to Black Vault Market. I learned the hard way that on the dark web, nothing is what it seems. In hindsight, I wish I had known how to recognize fake websites on the dark web before I clicked that final button. Some traps aren't meant to catch your money, they're meant to catch you. Have you ever been tempted by an offer that seemed too good to be true? What would you do if the site just vanished? If you like these stories, please do like, subscribe, comment, and share. Send your stories here. Email darkwebrealities@gmail.com. Story number 2, the phishing trap. The email was brief. Just a link and a subject line, "Your account has been compromised. Click here to reset." It started on an ordinary Tuesday night. I was scrolling through a dark web forum I'd been frequenting for months, a place known as Obsidian Exchange. It wasn't your typical market, it was more of a hub for digital freelancers, coders, hackers, and information brokers. I wasn't a hacker myself, but I'd hired people there before to help recover lost accounts, secure my digital presence, and sometimes things I'm not proud of. At 11:47 p.m., an email notification popped up on my encrypted inbox. Subject: Your account has been compromised. Click here to reset. Send a support at obsidian-exchange.onion. My stomach tightened. The email looked legitimate, clean formatting, the Obsidian Exchange logo in the header, even the same tone of professionalism their support team usually used. I clicked the link. The page that loaded was flawless. The same black and green color scheme, the same layout, the same fonts. It even greeted me with my username at the top. Please enter your password to reset your account. I hesitated for half a second, but paranoia crept in, the fear of someone hijacking my account and using it to impersonate me, scam people, or worse. I typed in my password and hit enter. The page refreshed. Password reset successful. You will be logged out shortly. Satisfied, I closed the tab and went back to scrolling. The next morning, I tried to log into Obsidian Exchange. My credentials didn't work. I reset my password again, this time through the real site. But when I got back in, everything was gone: my messages, my transaction history, my saved contacts. Someone had wiped my account clean. Worse still, my cryptocurrency wallet had been drained overnight, nearly $8,000 in Bitcoin. Panic set in. I checked my email again and noticed something I hadn't seen before. The sender's address wasn't quite right. Instead of obsidian-exchange.onion, it was obsidian-exchange.onion, a single, almost imperceptible typo. My heart sank. I had given my credentials to a fake login page. But the nightmare wasn't over. That afternoon, strange things started happening. First, my computer mouse moved on its own, a slow, deliberate glide across my desktop. Then, files started disappearing, one by one. I tried to unplug my computer from the internet, but before I could, a text document popped up on my screen. We're watching. Pay 1 BTC or everything goes public. Attached were screenshots, old messages from Obsidian Exchange, transaction logs, and most horrifying of all, screenshots of my screen from the previous night, including when I had logged into my cryptocurrency wallet. They'd been watching me the entire time. I unplugged the computer, yanked the battery out, and sat in silence. My mind raced with scenarios: blackmail, exposure, police investigations. But then, another thought hit me. They still had access to my accounts, my emails, my files. I switched to a clean laptop and began tracing the fake login page. I knew enough about cybersecurity to dig into the site's backend. Using archived browser data and a few tools, I traced the IP address of the fake site's host. It led me to a server cluster based in Eastern Europe, one known for hosting phishing sites and ransomware campaigns. The site had been live for less than 48 hours, just enough time to snare a handful of victims before vanishing. I dug deeper into forums and chat rooms, trying to find others who had been hit by the same scam. One user, someone named Nullghost, claimed to have been targeted by a similar phishing site. His warning was chilling. They don't just want your money. They want access. And once they have it, you're theirs. I realized then that the damage was already done. They hadn't just taken my Bitcoin, they had copies of my emails, my files, my passwords, and access to every account I had ever logged into from that device. I wiped everything: my phone, my backup drives, my email accounts. I even called my bank to lock down my financial accounts. But no matter how many steps I took, I couldn't shake the feeling of being exposed. Every notification, every email, every flicker of my webcam light felt like an intrusion. A week later, one final email arrived. You did well to hide, but remember, we're always watching. Stay quiet, stay obedient, and you'll be fine. I deleted the email, shut down my laptop, and sat in the dark. They were right. They still had me somewhere, somehow. I should have paused. I should have known how to recognize fake websites on the dark web before typing anything into that fake login page. But now, it was too late. I abandoned the digital world after that. No more forums, no more online accounts, and certainly no more dark web adventures. I got a new computer, a new phone, and started fresh. But the paranoia never left. Because on the internet, especially in the shadows of the dark web, one wrong click can cost you more than money. It can cost you everything. Story number 3, the job offer. Are you good with computers? The message read. $10,000 for one job, no questions asked. It started on a night like any other, late, quiet, with the glow of my monitor illuminating the cluttered desk in my tiny apartment. I was deep in a dark web job board called Cypher Hub, scrolling past gigs that ranged from questionable to outright illegal. I wasn't a hacker. Not really. I was more of a digital handyman, scraping data, fixing corrupted files, digging through encrypted archives. It paid enough to keep the lights on. But then, in the middle of the cluttered job listings, I saw it. Urgent task. $10,000 up front. Simple job. Skilled tech only. I clicked on it, my cursor hovering over the anonymous username _operative. The description was bare. On file. One URL. Complete the task, get the other half of your payment. Serious inquiries only. Attached was a chat link, a secure, encrypted room. I hesitated for a moment, but $10,000 was $10,000. I clicked. The chat opened to a single message. 0day_operative, are you good with computers? Me good enough. What's the job? 0day_operative, $10,000 for one job. No questions asked. Half now, half after. Before I could respond, a Bitcoin transaction alert popped up on my wallet. $5,000. Just like that. 0day_operative, simple task. Access this URL. Download the attached file. Send it to me. Do not open it. Do not look at it. A link appeared in the chat. It was a .onion address, a string of random characters ending in .onion. My gut told me to walk away, but $5,000 was already in my account, and another $5,000 was waiting. We understood. The chat went dead. The URL. I copied the link into my Tor browser and hit enter. The site loaded slowly, the way dark web pages often do. At first it seemed like a dead end, a black screen with a blinking cursor and a single line of text. Welcome. Then a download prompt appeared. The file was small, just a few kilobytes, labeled archive_payload.zip. I stared at it for a long time. Against my better judgment, I clicked download. The file saved to my desktop. I glanced back at the chat, but 0day_operative was gone. The moment the download finished, my screen flickered. Windows started closing on their own, my cursor froze, and a series of cryptic symbols started flooding the screen. They weren't random, they were deliberate. Some kind of message. Then, through my speakers, a distorted voice crackled to life. You've seen too much. My heart stopped. The voice repeated itself, slower this time. You've seen too much. I yanked the power cable from my computer, but the damage was done. My system was compromised. I booted into safe mode, but the infection had already spread. My files were corrupted, my desktop background had been replaced with the same message. You've seen too much. I disconnected my hard drives, wiped my system and formatted everything I could, but paranoia was setting in. Had they planted something deeper? Was there spyware lurking in my router, in my phone, in my webcam? I threw a blanket over my camera, turned off my phone, and sat in silence, staring at the lifeless screen of my monitor. A few days later, I went back to CipherHub to see if 0day_operative had resurfaced. But their profile was gone. Erased, like they had never existed. I scrolled through the forums, searching for any mention of similar jobs or similar URLs. That's when I found a thread titled "Do not accept jobs from 0day_operative." The post was short. These jobs aren't freelance gigs, they're traps. The URLs aren't dead drops, they're honeypots. If you've downloaded something from them, assume your system is compromised. Assume you are compromised. I slammed my laptop shut. The realization hit me hard. The job was never about the file. It was about me. They'd gained access to my system, my IP address, and possibly my personal details. In moments like these, knowing how to recognize fake websites on the dark web isn't just helpful, it's survival. But I had failed that test. I spent weeks cleaning up the mess. New operating systems, fresh hardware, air-gapped devices. But no matter how many precautions I took, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Emails trickled in from random addresses. Some were empty, others contained snippets of the same cryptic symbols that had flooded my screen. A final email arrived 2 months later. We're still watching. Stay quiet, and you'll stay safe. That was it. No threats, no demands. Just a quiet reminder that someone, somewhere, still had me under their thumb. Would I take that job again if I had known the consequences? Absolutely not. But desperation does strange things to people. $10,000 felt like a life-changing amount of money until it became a chain around my neck. If you're ever offered a dark web job that seems too simple, remember this: nothing on the dark web is ever simple. And sometimes the real job isn't what you're being asked to do, it's what they're doing to you. Would you take a mysterious $10,000 job offer if you thought it was harmless? Think twice before you click. Story number 4, the revenge site. The site was called Judgment Day. The tagline read, "You name them, we ruin them." It was past midnight when I found it. I wasn't searching for anything specific, just scrolling through dark web forums out of boredom. That's the thing about curiosity, it doesn't care about consequences. The link was buried deep in a thread titled, "Dark Web Services You Should Never Use." Classic reverse psychology. I clicked it. The site loaded with an ominous black and red design, bold letters stretched across the top. Judgment Day. Justice at a price. Underneath was a simple tagline. You name them, we ruin them. There were categories listed: financial ruin, reputation destruction, physical harassment. Each had its own price tag and disturbing reviews from apparent clients. My ex won't recover from this. Worth every penny. Peaceful and brutal. Highly recommend. I felt sick just reading it, but I couldn't look away. Out of morbid curiosity, I started browsing the listings. Each entry was a dossier. Full names, addresses, photos, even detailed personal schedules. Some were clearly petty grievances, ex-boyfriends, former employers, business partners. Others were prekisiks, darker. But then I saw something that made my blood turn to ice. Ending target, my full name. Location, my city, my street. Status, payment, awaiting confirmation. I stared at the screen, unblinking. There was even a grainy photo of me, taken from my own social media profile years ago. Someone had put me on this list. My first instinct was to leave the site and forget I'd ever seen it, but then I noticed a blinking chat icon at the corner of the screen. I clicked it. Support. Welcome to Judgment Day. How can we assist you? Me. Someone put my name on your site. I need it removed. Support. Ah, yes. Payment hasn't been finalized yet. Perhaps you'd like to outbid the requester? Outbid? They were asking me for money to save myself. Me. Who submitted my name? I need to know. Support. That information is confidential, but let's cut to the chase. $2,000 in Bitcoin, and your profile disappears forever. My heart raced. $2,000 wasn't an impossible sum, but something about this felt off. Me, how do I know this isn't just a scam? Tip. Support. A file was sent through the chat. It was a screenshot. My apartment building, the view from the street, the timestamp read 2 hours ago. I slammed my laptop shut and pulled the blinds closed. My breathing was shallow, every sound amplified. Were they outside? Was someone watching me right now? But the more I thought about it, the less sense it made. The screenshot could have been pulled from Google Maps or a social media photo. And the chat? It felt rehearsed, like they were following a script. I reopened my laptop and went back to the site. But the chat was gone. The page refreshed to a new message. Clock's ticking, 12 hours remain. I started digging. Looking at the website's source code, I noticed something strange. Everything was static. The profiles, the listings, even the pending target statuses. It wasn't dynamic content, it was pre-made. The site wasn't real. It was a scam, a psychological trap designed to terrify visitors into paying. The photos, the timestamps, the ominous messages, they were all generic scripts customized with user data harvested from elsewhere. I wasn't being targeted, I was being played. I had almost fallen for it, almost paid them. But then An email came in. Subject: last chance, 6 hours remain. Body: $2,000. Final offer: after that we cannot guarantee your safety. Attached was another photo. This time it was a blurry shot of someone walking into my building. Could have been anyone. Could have been fake. But doubt crept in. What if I was wrong? What if they were watching me? I hovered over the send payment button in my cryptocurrency wallet, but I didn't click it. I shut my laptop, turned off my phone and sat in silence. Days passed. Nothing happened. No one showed up at my door, no strange packages, no follow-up emails. The website disappeared a week later. The URL led to a dead page, but the feeling didn't fade. The paranoia stayed with me. The creak of the floorboards, the flicker of a street light, the shadows in my hallway. I couldn't shake the fear that someone had been watching, that the scam wasn't just a scam. I wish I'd known how to recognize fake websites on the dark web before I clicked deeper into that twisted forum. But some doors, once opened, can never really be closed again. Story number 5, the Too Real live stream. The stream started with a static screen and distorted audio. Then, the camera focused on me. It started with boredom, like most mistakes do. I wasn't looking for trouble. I was just exploring, clicking through random dark web forums, digging into threads with vague titles like "Hidden Streams You Shouldn't See." One link caught my eye: live feeds, real-time experiences. No flashy graphics, no descriptions, just a plain white screen with a list of live stream titles. Some were vague, The Waiting Room, others were unsettling. Watch Him Sleep. But one caught my attention immediately. Viewer: 5,689, active now. Something about the title felt specific. I clicked it. The stream started with static and a low hum of distorted audio. Then, slowly, the screen cleared, and I froze. It was my living room. The angle was unmistakable. The corner of the couch, the coffee table, my laptop sitting right where I'd left it. The camera shifted slightly, refocusing, like someone adjusting a lens. Then, the audio crackled, and a faint voice whispered. "Smile." I slammed my laptop shut and yanked out the power cord. My heart was racing, my breathing sharp and uneven. How? I covered my webcam with tape, unplugged my router, and turned off every connected device in my apartment. But the paranoia was already digging in. I checked every corner of the room, pulled books off shelves, looked under furniture, and even checked the vents. Nothing. After what felt like hours, I sat back down, staring at my powered-off laptop. But a notification buzzed on my phone. Stream reconnected. Viewer 5,689. It was still live. I turned my laptop back on, but this time I didn't connect to the internet. Instead, I went straight into my system files. Deep in the root folders, I found something. A small program running quietly in the background. Its name was just a string of random numbers and letters, but its permissions? Absolute. It had control over my camera, my microphone, and even my screen. That's when it clicked. The website wasn't real. It was a front. A fake page designed to lure people like me, curious, reckless, stupid, into exposing themselves. The spyware had probably been installed days ago, maybe weeks. The stream wasn't being pulled from some mysterious server. It was being broadcasted directly from me. And worst of all, someone was watching. I wiped everything, every file, every program. I formatted my hard drive twice, reinstalled my operating system, and changed every password I had. I even bought a new router, set up a VPN, and got a fresh laptop. But paranoia doesn't go away with a clean install. Every webcam felt like an eye. Every faint noise in my headphones sounded like breathing. But then, the emails started. The first one was just a subject line, "We're still here." The second had a screenshot, me sitting at my desk, taken just now. And the third email said, "See you soon." I didn't sleep for days. Every creak of my apartment felt loaded with intent. Every passing car outside was someone coming for me. But the stream, it stopped. The website disappeared, the emails stopped, and the quiet finally returned. For a while, I thought maybe I had escaped. But one night, as I was lying in bed, my phone buzzed. A single notification. It was a link. No subject, no sender, just a link. I didn't click it. I didn't need to. I already knew what it was. You might think I overreacted, that it was just spyware, just a hacker playing games, but you don't understand the feeling of seeing yourself on a screen you never consented to, of realizing that someone has been watching. Knowing how to recognize fake websites on the dark web isn't optional anymore, it's essential, because sometimes those links don't just steal your data, they steal your life. I haven't clicked on another dark web link since. But sometimes when my room is silent and I'm alone with my thoughts, I wonder, is someone still watching? Have you ever felt like someone's watching through your camera? What would you do if you saw yourself live? If you like these stories, please do like, subscribe, comment and share. Send your stories here. Email darkwebrealities@gmail.com. The dark web has always carried an air of mystery, a forbidden corner of the internet filled with hidden knowledge, illicit markets and shadowy figures. But here's the truth. It's not the infamous marketplaces or the encrypted chat rooms that pose the greatest danger. It's the fake shadows, the websites designed not to sell you something, but to steal something from you. Your money, your identity, your privacy, sometimes even your sanity. One wrong click, one moment of misplaced trust, and the consequences can ripple out in ways you can't predict. Or reverse. These stories aren't just cautionary tales, they're warnings etched in digital ink. Proof that curiosity, paranoia, and desperation can be manipulated by people who thrive in the murky corners of the internet. Whether it's a fake job offer promising easy money, a marketplace too good to be true, or an email with one cleverly disguised typo, the danger isn't always obvious until it's far too late. You might think, it won't happen to me, I'm careful, I'd spot the red flags. But that's what everyone thinks. Until they're staring at their own face on a compromised live stream or watching their personal data being auctioned off in real time. Sometimes it's not the dark web itself that's dangerous, it's the fake shadows pretending to be real. Every click is a choice. Every link, every download, every message you respond to carries weight. And in this corner of the internet, mistakes don't come with second chances. If these stories made you pause, made you second guess that too good to be true offer or that urgent email in your inbox, then they've done their job. Have you ever encountered something suspicious online? A link you hesitated to click, an email that felt off? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. End of podcast. And if you ever find yourself staring at a link, hand hovering over your mouse wondering if it's safe, remember this. Sometimes, not clicking is the safest move you can make. If you like these stories, please do like, subscribe, comment and share. Send your stories here. Email darkwebrealities@gmail.com.